Okay, here we go. Coming in hot. What's happening? Are we gonna try and transition? Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Hello. How are you? Good afternoon, good evening, good day, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. I hope you're having fun doing it. Man, my shirt is red, and yet it's very orange. It's like hunter orange, and yet to my eyeball, it is not. All right, I've got to work on my on the camera as far as because yeah, maybe it's making me look peaked. I don't know. Anyways, so just for the record, I'm wearing a quite red shirt, and it's coming across as like, I don't know. Maybe it takes a moment for it to transition stuff, and I'm dirty because I've been under the desk. Anyways, hi, welcome. There's just doing a little cleanup and that kind of stuff as we do, just doing the show. Just doing a show. Hi, everybody. Welcome, chat room. Hello. I'm going to show that window. Did you get a 3-pack of those shirts? I did, actually. It's actually, I ordered I ordered one of these, and then I was like, oh, it fits really well. So I got like 3 of them. So there you go. You using the Amber Heard Bruce filter? It's true. Yeah, it makes me redder bluer than usual. It adds some blue. Yes, I do have dirt under my nose. It's thanks very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, let's see. It's a shadow. Okay. I don't know. Because I was messing around under the, it's just, okay. That's just a shadow. Okay. All right. I can't, I moved everything around, so I can't tell what's what right now. But hi, how are you? So just so you know, the big right-wing freak out that's happening today, if you listen carefully, you'll hear a lot of wailing and gnashing of teeth, screaming and fooling around and sorrow and brokenness and yada yada. What's that all about, you ask? It's about this. Sussmann, who worked for Clinton, acquitted. Not pardoned, like Michael Flynn, who admitted to lying to the FBI and then was, pled guilty and then had to be pardoned by Trump. No. Full on acquitted. Went to trial, said, fuck you, I'm going to trial, and was acquitted. Politics were not a factor, the jury forewoman said after a courtroom defeat for special counsel John Durham. Womp, womp. Womp, wah. A federal jury delivered a major setback to special counsel John Durham on Tuesday, acquitting well-connected lawyer Michael Sussmann on a charge that he lied to the FBI in 2016 while acting on behalf of the Hillary Clinton campaign, a trial that sought to revive old controversies about the FBI's role in that election. The verdict, coming after less than a full day of deliberations, spread, yeah, that's right, faster than Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Spread over parts of Friday and Tuesday, was not a close call or a hard decision, 2 jurors told the Washington Post. Politics were not a factor. We felt really comfortable being able to share what we thought. We had concise notes. We were able to address the questions together. Personally, I don't think it should have been prosecuted, she added, saying the government could have spent our time more wisely. A second juror told the Washington Post that in the jury room, everyone pretty much saw it the same way. Sussmann was accused of lying to, by the way, there were no notes that he lied. It was the idea that he, and by the way, guess who's upset? Guess who's really upset? These folks are upset today. This guy's upset. Inside the Sussmann trial, Rudy Giuliani. Oh yeah. But first, look who's just horrified. Yes, it's, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, he at least moved the angle on his camera so we don't have to stare at that pile of unmoved papers. Oh, it's so fun. They're freaking out. And it's, guys, clearly the title of this one, by the way, is Breaking Clinton Lawyer Sussmann Found Not Guilty, My Reaction. And for the record, the thumbnail on it had a picture of Hillary Clinton and said, "The fix is in." It's just fun. Okay, so let's see what he says about this. Durham's done. Trump wrote out, let's see, Trump statement Sussmann. Hold on. Not Aquaman. Sussmann. What a weird feeling. Let's see, but so it's kind of where? Hold on. He Donald Trump statement on. Hold on. I had it on. All right, wait a minute. I guess it's going to be on Twitter. Hold on. Because that's where I initially saw it. Trump Sussmann statement. Should be in here. Oh, boy. Here we go. There you go. This is it. This is the whole thing. Read the full. Okay, in case you missed the Durham release, former Clinton lawyers, text message said, sorry. Where is it? That wasn't even his statement. Hold on. I'm looking at this feed right here. There's a bunch of this stuff. And that's it's like the only picture of Durham they have. Let's see. Because both said New York Times made a statement that a doo-ba-doo. Cash Patel is another picture of Durham. Where is it? The main one from Save America PAC was, I'll find it. It's tricky to, here it is. Statement from President Trump on Durham. Sussmann, read here, Fox News. In case you missed, Durham releases former Clinton lawyer Sussmann's text message, say he'll put lie in writing. Read the full article by Brooks. That's the statement? That's April 6th. That's not the, that's old. Hold on. Anyways, let's hear what Junior has to say about it. Guys.
In breaking news.
Hold on.
Well, guys, in breaking news.
Well, guys, I'm reading notes. Guys, in breaking news that nobody could have ever...
That should be shocking to absolutely nobody. Hillary...
Oh, so you're shocked, you're telling me.
Hillary Clinton lawyer Michael Sussmann, not guilty.
G-N-A-T, not guilty.
In D.C. court of making a false statement to the FBI. Now, I want to be very clear. I am absolutely shocked that the D.C. jury...
I'm guessing this is... you mean D.C. juries have a lot of black people on them, so clearly they're going to land on the side of Hillary Clinton's lawyer, you know, just out of a sense of community.
Composed of multiple Hillary Clinton donors.
Hillary Clinton? Hold on.
Statement to the FBI. Now, I want to be very clear. I am absolutely shocked that the D.C. jury composed of...
They were composed. It's. I think it's important that in a high stress situation, you remain composed.
Multiple Hillary Clinton donors,
which is not true at all. What? How the fuck? Where? I mean, that's just made up. But okay. So you're saying Durham is such an asshole that he couldn't even exclude Hillary Clinton donors in his primary questionnaire. Did you, by any chance, donate to 26? Oh, he definitely said Hillary.
One that I believe said that he could not be impartial to anything that related to Donald Trump, or something to that effect.
Apparently not. So again, Durham is the dude that Trump appointed to go after this shit, and he's that bad.
Basically, he's like, listen, I can't promise you that I'm going to be impartial because it has to do with Trump. An AOC donor, I'm shocked that the D.C. swamp jury would let them off, right? We all know how this goes by now, folks, right?
Do we? And by the way, it's one thing to do kind of an exasperated, you're pissed off 3-minute video because 3 minutes, 43 seconds. Yeah. Because the dude your dad appointed to go after his political enemies is failing so miserably. But look at the note reading again. Yeah, it looks like he's fanning a fart. Oh, get it right up my nostrils.
Right? Only the people who are not part of the DC establishment swamp ever face accountability, right? Next will be Hunter Biden. He will get off.
Well, yeah, of course, because there's no evidence against him. And if you tried to use anything off the alleged laptop, fruit of the poison tree, bad chain of evidence, you can blame Rudy for that.
Then Paul.
By the way, there is no Hunter Biden laptop, just for the record.
Pelosi will get off with the DUI. We all know how this happens, right?
Why would he get off on his DUI? He got busted for a DUI. He's going to get his license taken away, or he's going to have it temporarily suspended, or whatever happens with a DUI.
I'm basically pretty sure that they admitted what he did in this thing, and it didn't even matter, right? But
no, they didn't admit to what he did in this thing, and it didn't even matter. As a matter of fact, he fought back against the Durham assertion that he lied, and there were no contemporaneous notes from the FBI agents he met with that he said anything false. And that's the whole fucking point. He went to the FBI because he chose to, not because Hillary sent him. And their assertion is that he lied and said that Hillary didn't send him when she did. She didn't. As an officer of the court, he was like, guys, you need to bring people's attention to this Trump shit, because he's a fucking crook. And they're like, it's an election year. We don't think it's necessary, but we've got this stuff and we'll hold it close to the vest, maybe. But he's like, you don't understand. He's currently engaged in crimes. As an officer of the court, I kind of got to tell somebody.
But the idea that a government corruption case related to, like, especially that level of government would be tried in DC, where it's like 95% liberal, should be absolutely...
Again, I guess juries are just 95% liberal.
Absolutely insane, right? It shouldn't even be fair, right? They have...
You're right, it shouldn't even be fair.
Like Saddam Hussein level of voter turnout for the Democrats. So if you're a Democrat, you're basically safe. If you're a Republican, you're...
Yeah, if you're a Republican,
right? They have like Saddam Hussein level of voter turnout for the Democrats. So if you're a Democrat, you're basically safe. If you're a Republican, you're probably in big trouble. It's amazing what these swamp creatures can get away with, okay?
Again, what is the big political aspect of this particular indictment? Other than the fact that Sussmann was an attorney at the firm that Hillary Clinton used, the idea is, did this guy or did he not lie to the FBI? Durham didn't make his fucking case. This is like a housekeeping indictment. This is not like we need to get a criminal off the streets. Sussmann is and Sussmann's like a top level lawyer at one of these big firms. He's not gonna, if he's busted, he's gonna plea down or plea out or try to, maneuver out of going through the process. But this dude knew he was going to get off from this indictment. He knew it.
It's what happens when you try a Democrat operative in a city that, again, has that sort of Saddam level Democrat election turnout. So no one's shocked.
I'm shocked that you can't get through a sentence without reading directly from whatever statement your dad is making you read, or the Heritage Foundation, or whoever the fuck. Like, what are you staring at?
Again, 3 Hillary Clinton donors, an AOC donor, a woman whose daughter was on the same sports team as the guy on trial's daughter, right? It's a DC...
Yeah, clearly. They're on the same team. They must be friends. So Durham's office didn't get any of these people broomed, couldn't get them removed, because why?
Jury. We shouldn't be surprised at all, right? This is a totally legitimate justice system, folks.
Yes, it is.
He's facing a jury that are fans of everything that he did, basically, right?
No, they don't care what he did.
He literally lied to...
By the way, if there's 3 of them that were this way and the jury, like 1 Clinton donor or 1 AOC, 3 Clintons, whatever he's alleging, all 12 of them were like, yeah, this is cut and dry. All 12 of them.
The FBI, I'm pretty sure they admitted as much, but, minor details. Again.
No, they didn't.
Now, do you think I'd get away with that? Do you think you'd get away with that? Do you think if you're...
Well, if I did exactly what Sussmann did, or you did exactly what Sussmann did, yes.
Anywhere near D.C., say on January 6th, Even if you were totally peaceful, do you think you'd get away with it?
Yes, if you were totally peaceful and you were somewhere near Washington, D.C., and you were accused of lying to the FBI about who your employer was or what directive your employer gave you, you would get off.
They literally had a man who pointed out that he could probably not be impartial to anything regarding Donald Trump. Think about that.
Yeah, but what the fuck does this have to do with Donald Trump? Honestly. Let's just assume that you believe that he was an operative of Hillary Clinton against Donald Trump. The charge in front of you is partial or impartial. What are you going to do? Hang the jury on that one point? The entire jury was unanimous.
Think about that for a second, right? They literally allowed a juror that claimed that he couldn't be impartial in dealing with something with Trump. If you're a Democrat, you ain't getting convicted in D.C. Doesn't matter what you did. Doesn't matter that Durham had literal scripts showing Sussmann working for Hillary.
Yeah, he worked for Hillary. He didn't do this at her direction. And the question is, did he lie to the FBI about what he was doing there? The jury found no. All 12 of them, not the AOC, donor.
Receipt.
Who, by the way, more than likely didn't vote for Hillary. Probably had more of a problem with Hillary than with Trump in some cases.
Doesn't matter. So 0 people have been convicted, and that's probably the way it's going to continue.
Yes, because Durham sucks and he's got nothing. Or Saddam Hussein. Guys.
Right? That's going to be it. Despite clear evidence.
We can't let it happen. What do you think the odds are he ends this with? Guys, we can't let this happen. It can't be. It's happening and we can't let it happen.
Evidence of wrongdoing, right? Once Russia became about the Democrats, folks, that's when it ended. You had 5 years, millions of dollars, doesn't matter. As long as it was against Donald Trump, this was going to continue.
Also, Mueller made money on the deal. The Mueller investigation seized more property than it cost.
Once it became about the Democrats, once it became known that they're the ones doing it, it's all over, and none of us should be surprised. But we should be pissed. We should be disgusted. And we should make sure we don't let these things happen.
What'd I say? What did I say? What did I say? It always boils down to, we can't let this happen. We can't let this happen. Guys, fucking hell. Shit. Who is Junior's friends? He doesn't have any friends. What I tell you. And I don't pre-watch these. You guys fucking know. What a jackass. We should be discussing it or we can't let it happen. Whatever. This is all about, you can't let it happen. Therefore, donate to Save America PAC or whatever the shit. Oh, God.
In America in the future, which is why we have to turn out, which is why we have to vote, and we have to do so overwhelmingly. So this crap stops once and for all.
Miserable. So sad. And he's not alone. He's not alone. You know who else is disappointed? Devin Nunes. Disappointed Devin Nunes, which basically, I mean, that's just what we should call him all the time. Reacts to Sussmann trail verdict. Oh, I beg your pardon. See, I assumed, I didn't realize there was... Oh, yeah, sometimes, look, hey, I will admit to typos all the time on Twitter, but there's no edit feature. Trail verdict. It's a trail verdict. He was indicted for rolling. Man, my ass is swollen. Man, my balls are throbbing rawhide. Though Devin Nunes is disappointed, all right.
To this verdict is former California.
Oh my God. And also, this dude, hold on. Is it just me, or does he look like Gru from the Minions movies, Despicable Me, with hair, like with a toupee on? And then of course This looks like a silicone Cindy McCain or what's her name? The daughter. Yeah, like real doll.
Congressman and CEO of Trump Media and Technology Group, Devin Nunes.
Wah, wah. Truth. We got a lot. So you're telling me you got a lot of leftover hats. Countdown to Socialism, Devin Nunes. Make sure you get your book in the background. By the way, did you and Don Jr. trade shirts today? What happened? Do you guys just grab whatever shirts laying around, or did you guys go shopping together? Guys, don't forget to wear your Sussmann plaid. I mean, come on. What is happening? What'd you do yesterday, Dev? I went to Ross with Don Jr. It's amazing how cheap that son of a bitch is. I know. That's fucking hilarious. And I mean, the amount of disappointment. You know, can you imagine getting all worked up that you thought this was going to go your way? I am not assuming it's not the same shirt, Robin. I think your turn. Tag team shirts. Maybe Trump makes everyone wear the same shirt, like you're second tier. Devin, you're the son I wish I didn't have. Oh boy. All right, here we go.
Devin, good to see you, and thanks so much for coming back on.
Said no one ever.
This bomb.
Thank you. Devin, good to see you. Thank you.
Devin Nunes.
Watch.
Devin, good to see you, and thanks so much for coming back on. This.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bomb essentially went off, metaphorically speaking, earlier this afternoon.
A bomb went off, metaphorically speaking. Not a literal bomb. Fuck, what the hell?
I spoke with Joe DeGeneva earlier about...
Really? Joe de fucking Geneva? The lunatics that literally were so bad as lawyers that, like, Trump's own staff had to keep them away from him?
This one in Victoria Tenzing, where they...
Both of them. Yeah, Tenzing, by the way. Victoria Tenzing. And don't they work at Newsmax?
They actually called this earlier. They said they thought he may be acquitted. Reason being, they cited a D.C. jury, a D.C. court, a D.C. judge. Your thoughts?
Like the real doll speaks. It's a D.C. jury. You know what that means? Black people.
What's on this?
Yeah, sad as we all had great hopes for this.
Yeah, so sad. So sad. I'm so sad, guys.
all want to see justice served.
And it was, and that's very disappointing, I guess.
But look, in Washington, D.C., I spent nearly 2 decades there. You know, the place is
And accomplished nothing.
getting worse and worse, and it's moving far and farther to the left. And I believe what the defense successfully did is they painted this as a anti-Trump thing. So in other words, well, Sussmann was doing all these bad things. Sure, Hillary Clinton was doing these things, but, you know.
But the only charge is lying to the FBI, and he didn't, so the fuck are we doing here? Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you don't have to like Hillary Clinton, and you don't have to like Donald Trump. The question before you is, did this man lie to these two guys? Our first witness, these two guys. Did he lie to you? No, I don't remember him ever saying he was working for the Clinton campaign, and I didn't ask him if he was. So you didn't ask him if he was? No, I did not. So the charges brought by Durham are based on the idea that you told him you asked and you were misinformed? Yeah, that's not true. Okay, can we call this bullshit? Can we all go home now? Fucking hell.
Donald Trump, this was all about Donald Trump and, he should have never been president, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, that's what they ran on. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the question before you today is, did that guy lie to those guys? Now, you'll see that those guys don't have notes that say that he lied or anything that contradicts what he's saying, and that's the actual case before you. But let's really try this about, this is all about Donald Trump.
And, you even had the defense
Gulp. You even had the defense
calling this on the closing arguments last week, that this was all a conspiracy theory, and the
yes, it is.
reality is you're damn right. It was a conspiracy, but it was a conspiracy done by Hillary Clinton. So
look, it's the court artist and the thing of the contemporaneous notes of the FBI agent who Durham wrote in his notes that Sussmann had told him that he was asked if he was working for Hillary Clinton, and that's why he was there, and that he said no, and that he was, and they didn't prove any of it. And that's why the jury went, fuck this, why are we here? This is a waste of our time. Literally, the response from the jury was, here it goes, personally, I don't think it should have been prosecuted, she added, saying the government could have spent our time more wisely. A second juror told the Post that in the jury room, everyone pretty much saw it the same way. It's a waste of fucking time.
Where do we go from here?
Where do we go from here now that all our Devons are growing up? And why do we share our shirts? Sorry.
Clearly, we're disappointed.
Clearly. That's why they put it in quotes. Disappointed Devin Nunes. It's his nickname now.
This is not what any of us wanted to see.
It's not what we wanted to see, okay? It's a nightmare. The whole thing.
Somebody who, it was our investigation that unearthed all of this.
And I'm glad. So did you get a call from Durham? Hey, fucko! All that shit you told me you had turned out to be nothing. Yeah, thanks for wasting my fucking time and undermining my credibility. Yeah, why am I yelling into my pinky? Because I wouldn't actually call you Devin. I just felt like yelling.
Then led to Horowitz, who also found all this very damaging information. And here you have an acquittal by a jury with Durham's first prosecution. I will say,
said not doing this for any client.
That the next indictment is going to be tried in Virginia. So I think what we learned in the Sussmann trial, there was a lot.
Yeah, don't have any black people on the jury, even though the majority of them were white.
A lot of new information that came out of that. And it'll be surprising if you get the same kind of tainted.
Yeah, the guy was hold on, secret Trump organization, sir. That's what Sussmann came there. He's like, dude, we're talking about this over the thing. That I'm not here because she sent me. I'm here because you guys fucking need to know this asshole is in direct contact with the Russians. This is serious. Did Hillary Clinton send you? No. If I witness a murder, I don't have to wait until my boss tells me to go to the cops. I can just go, I saw the fucking thing.
That you had in D.C.
It was a taint jury, it's true.
In Virginia. And also, we don't know if there's more indictments to come down the pipe from Durham, because it sure.
Yeah, I can't wait, because the other ones have gone so well.
Sure seems like with all the evidence.
Yeah, there's lots of evidence. Sure seems like if I was him, I'd be really excited to bring another one of these cases and spend 3 months putting it together to lose easily.
That he produced at this Sussmann trial, there should be more indictments on the way.
Yeah, totally.
A great point, Devin.
Yeah, great point, Devin. Great. What was your point?
I was surprised, perhaps, that Durham's response and reaction was very, very measured. What do you make of that?
I don't know. Normally, I would just scream and wrench my shirt, but it's not my shirt. It's Don Jr., so I can't.
Well, look, I think that prosecutors have to be. You have to remember everybody from the Biden White House to the Attorney General to everyone in the swamp there. They want this Durham investigation to go away. So I think Durham has to.
So probably screaming and doing lines of blow off the podium outside the courthouse while going, fuck this! and going like 100% Alex Jones isn't good for his career or standing in the swamp,
really abide by kind of the code of conduct, so to speak, that U.S.
so to speak.
attorneys have to abide by.
Yeah, what kind of bullshit is that? Professionalism and stuff? Hey, he's a Trumpy. He should walk out there, grab the jury by the pussy, and tell them what's what. Fucking hell.
So I think if he was to come out and say anything other than he's disappointed, anything I think more than that, they would go after him for being politically charged, promoting the conspiracy. You can write the storyline.
Yes, because it would be obvious
that the fake news media would love to create here. So I think.
Well, it wouldn't be fake if they were creating it based on his behavior in that. Never mind.
Durham played it exactly right. He did what he had to do.
He was cool. He was calm. He was collected. He took the loss. He took the L. Something that Devin knows a lot about. And he's just carrying around inside like a little ball in his belly that he's just a knot in his stomach. And that's enough.
He had to bring this case in D.C.
Yeah, damn it.
He knew it was going to be a jury that was going to be against him. But at the same time, he's got to be careful, I think, what he says on the outside, because there's potentially many more indictments on the way.
Lots of them. They're going to be so good. Now, I know the last ones have sucked and been pointless and low res and about bullshit, but
to mention, you have this trial coming up in September, October timeframe against the so-called source of the Steele dossier.
The so-called source.
Really quickly before you go, I just want to ask you about this. I know you don't speak for former President Trump, but
or even to him. But where'd you get that shirt? Because I was watching Don Jr.'s Rumble.
Have you spoken to him with this recent?
I've spoken to him when I get my fun smile on. Anytime I discuss talking to Trump, I get this defensive, pinched smile. Looks like I'm trying to hold in a fart and a yawn.
Breaking news that Sussmann was acquitted. If you have, do you have any reaction to share? Obviously, this is something that...
Yeah. Sadly, yes.
President Trump has been pushing against for quite some time. He's faced the Mueller probe, Russia over the years. What did today mean to him?
Well, look, I think he was very clear. He put out on Truth Social, which is the company that I now run. He put out a very clear statement of his disappointment. And
a very clear statement of his disappointment. Hold on. If I may. Let's see. All right. Here's his statement. Our legal system is corrupt, in all caps. Our judges and justices are highly partisan, compromised, or just plain scared. Our borders are open, all caps. Our elections are rigged. Inflation is rampant, all caps. Gas prices and food costs are through the roof, in quotes. Our military, quote, leadership, end quote, is woke. Our country is going to hell, all caps. And Michael Sussmann is not guilty. How's everything else doing? Enjoy your day. Hold on. For real. Let's see if I can. There you go. Hold on. No, you can't. It's too. Oh, God damn it. Hold on. Whoops. Let's see. Explain by da explain later explain da. It's gotta have Come on. It's just a bunch of shit about his... Okay, news. I can't transfer the picture to my desktop. Hold on, I have an idea. Wait 1 second. Okay, I have an idea. Take a picture. Take this. Send it to my iPad, because it'll be bigger. Excellent. Okay, and then I can show it to you guys a little bigger if it's not too shiny. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, hold on. Our legal system is corrupt. Damn it! It's hard to send because it's a PC and they don't. They need AirDrop for this. DM it to yourself on Twitter. That's a great idea. Look at you guys thinking, all thinking. Instead of Twitter. Instead of Twitter. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Dink. I'll just send it to myself. 1 second. Tweet. There we go. I just sent it to myself. Hold on. Look at this. You guys full of beans. There we go. There we go. What's happening? How's it's coming up. Hold on. I'm coming. I want the world to know. Here you go. Okay. Here it is. Oh, so good. Here it is. Our legal system is corrupt. Our judges and justices are, again, they're about to rule against Roe v. Wade. He's got control of the fucking, what? All right. Our highly partisan compromise are just plain scared. Our borders are open. Our elections are rigged. Inflation is rampant. Gas prices and food costs are through the roof. Our military leadership is woke. Our country is going to hell. And Michael Sussmann is not guilty. How's everything else going? Enjoy your day. Oh, what a jackass. All right. And 6,000 responses. Twerps. He twerped this of his twerps. Oh, God. So pitiful. Just the idea that he's just like angry about it is fucking hilarious. Just a miserable son of a bitch. Just no two ways about it. $307 truths. What a dipshit. Oh, God. Enjoy your day! Oh, God. It's so miserable. Speaking of miserable, hold on. I don't know how much of this bullshit we even need. This is fucking 40 minutes. He's going off on this Sussmann horse shit. This is Rudy. This is inside the Sussmann trial. Dun, dun, dun.
Hello, this is Rudy Giuliani, and I'm back with another episode of Rudy's Common Sense. And this episode will be coming to you over Memorial Day weekend.
And I'm sure he'll be very excited that they're finally going to bring down Sussmann. So he recorded this before the verdict.
So let me wish to all of you a very solemn Memorial Day. Remember, there's always a bit of a confusion with some people, and it's understandable, I guess. Memorial Day is to remember.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Made the ultimate sacrifice. Might have been pretty. The jury will get a chance to decide it. It's a pretty simple case from my point of view.
Yeah, me too.
Might have been tried when I was U.S. Attorney, what we call the short trials unit. And those were the first year people who had, 3-4 day trials instead of the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 3-month trials. This is a definable number of witnesses, a simple question.
Yep, it sure was.
Very, very direct, powerful evidence. And
1.3K in the chat. Nice. Welcome, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe, give a thumbs up or a thumbs down, or, join in in the conversation, or don't, and support the show. There's a Venmo link right there, or don't. Subscribe on Twitch, or don't. Yeah, it's a free country.
And a rather weak defense, a judge that is determinedly biased, and a jury that is almost impossible to believe that he allowed these jurors to remain. So I think I just described the whole case to you, I think. But let me see if I can go back and do it briefly and then tell you what I think the significance of it is.
Yeah.
Okay?
Sure.
So
I might dodge. We might duck out of this. I'm not doing all fucking 40 minutes of this bullshit, but let's see what his opening argument is.
the main characters, I think you know. There's Michael Sussmann.
Yes, newly acquitted Michael Sussmann. Here's a picture of him walking confidently out of court, as he would only a couple of days later, a free man.
Sussmann was and is a cyber lawyer, and
A cyber warrior? He's a lawyer.
worked for the law firm Perkins Coie, which was Democratic National Committee's law firm, Hillary Clinton's law firm, and I have to say, in fairness, involved in a lot of the skullduggery involving the Steele, now proven to be false
Bullshit.
dossier, totally false,
No, not proven to be false.
totally fraudulent dossier.
No, not totally fraudulent. Again, assertions without evidence. Your Honor, move to strike.
Two other lawyers
Argumentative, poorly argumentative, Your Honor, but still.
testified in this case, Mook and Elias, and we'll go over their testimony in a minute.
Which one's Mook and which one's Elias? That's what I need to know. I'm going with he looks like Mook and the other guy looks like Elias, but I'm going to go it's probably the other way around just to disappoint me.
And then, of course, the main witness, the main focus of this is James Baker, who was the general counsel of the FBI, because
Get on with it.
Sussmann decided to bring this case to the FBI,
The case?
not to FBI agents, which is the way you normally bring a case to the FBI. Or if you're a high-level muckety-muck like Sussmann, maybe you go to the agent in charge of the local office or the agent in charge of fraud or political corruption, or normally you would just go to a regular agent. But he went to the general counsel. And
Right.
here's the testimony of Mr. Baker, because that's really the core of the case.
Isn't it?
The charge is 18 United States Code Section 1001, used a lot in federal court. I can't tell you how often I use that statute in indictments.
Yeah, almost as many times as it was used against members of the Trump administration.
I can almost recite what it says. I wrote it so often when I was a kid, before I was in charge of a lot of people and tried a lot of cases like this.
Because you got the shitty 3-day ones that were going to go and nobody wanted to actually try these things because they very seldom go that way.
1001, very simply, is a deliberate false statement to the government in an important matter that's material. So, you know, if you get your birth date wrong,
That could happen to anybody.
or you're a woman and you don't like to tell people how old you are,
Jesus. Why? Yeah. Why just breeze through this whole thing without a little bit of sexism?
and there's no significance of that to the case, then that's a false.
By the way, in Liar Liar, literally the plot point of a woman lying about her age to appear older and lying about her birthday.
Statement,
Fucking hell.
but it's immaterial and it doesn't violate 1001. It has to be both. It has to both be given to the government. It's got to be false, and it has to have some effect on the case. It can't just be some silly thing like, did you ever dye your hair? No. Well, now, if you
What a weird choice for him.
look differently at some point, and that would identify you as being part of a crime, and you say you didn't dye
By the way, he freshly dyed his hair.
your hair, then that could be a false statement. But if it's just your vanity, then it isn't. Okay. So here's the false statement,
So he does it for vanity. Okay, cool.
summarized very, very
Jesus
simply.
Christ.
On September 19th, 2016, Mr. Sussmann, as a lawyer, comes into the office of the general counsel of the FBI.
Right.
Now, you got to begin with the fact he got special treatment. You are not going to get to see.
Well, that's because he's operated with big cases before. He's engaged with these people. He might even know them socially or personally.
general counsel.
And he's like, I need to talk to somebody way up top because this is dangerous. What's going on right now is materially dangerous towards the security of the United States.
The FBI, I assure you. Even if you're a lawyer, you're not going to get to see the general counsel of the FBI. He got to see the general counsel of the FBI because he's got big connections to the Democratic Party. And at this point, I'd have to say the FBI was operating more like the state police for the Democratic Party than what we would think of as our FBI. So he was given this very special meeting.
Yes, I will say in total credit to the state police, if they found out that somebody in the state was, I guess, helping a foreign country attack the United States, the state police would be very good about this, I think.
And
how can you mute Rudy and not Hal? Well, you won't be able to understand what I'm talking about.
He told Baker a story, a very serious allegation about Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Late in the campaign, September 19, 2016. Already the issue of Russian collusion had come up. And to give it substance,
or to convey the substance,
said that he had very solid information that the Trump servers at the Trump organization had a direct link.
They were pinging with Alpha Bank.
To the Alpha Bank in Moscow, which is a bank really controlled by the Russian government and used by the Russian government.
Unlike the other banks in Russia.
And of course, that would be devastating proof that Trump's denials that he had anything to do with Russia were totally false, and that the allegations that there was a Russia connection, which so far had no substance to them, might have some real substance to them. So in that sense, it's a very, very important allegation.
No, it isn't.
Now the question is, how did Sussmann...
Oh, thanks for the super chat, Craig. The ch in Peachtree dish is silent, like Republicans on gun control. Very nice.
Present this. He presented it.
Thank you, Shadow Woman, for the subs.
Baker says...
Kimberly, thank you.
Let me see if I have his testimony here, because it's pretty darn... It's pretty darn...
By the way, Kimberly is asking about the COVID tests from the government and the proper use of them. Why no instructions from the CDC, but there are some nuances, symptoms versus none. Ask your mom, please. I will. She's actually going to be here on Monday.
So that right at the very beginning of the meeting, Baker says right at the very beginning of the meeting, Sussmann...
Jesus Christ. This is 40 minutes long because he's looking through his papers.
Said he was not appearing before me on behalf of any particular client.
Right.
Baker recalled during the testimony. And that he had information about a surreptitious communications or a surreptitious communications channel between Alpha Bank, which he described as being connected to the Kremlin in Russia, and a part of the Trump organization in the United States.
Right.
And Baker,
still true.
Baker said he was 100% confident he said that in the meeting. Baker went on to say he wouldn't have agreed to meet with Sussmann if he knew Sussmann was there acting on behalf of the Clinton campaign. That would have raised a very serious question in his mind about the credibility of the testimony and the conflict, particularly with all of the things going on with the Clinton investigation at that point.
Which turned out to be nothing.
He would have then, referred it right over to the Clinton squad to be
the Clinton squad
investigated, and certainly that would have been put as a qualifier on the credibility of this allegation.
So they weren't acting as a state police organization for the DNC. He just didn't ask an adequate question for his own concerns.
Which was very, very serious. Now, the question is,
why would anybody watch this bullshit for 40 minutes? Not me. Goodbye. I can't. First of all, the fact that he taped this before while the jury was deliberating in the day and a half it took to reassess it if he didn't know that it was he was gonna lose. Jesus Christ. Oh my God, this is fucking dull. And how can you be this dull and have a glory hole over your shoulder? There it is, ladies and gentlemen, the Rudy Giuliani glory hole. That's right. There's a little hallway back there where I guess Trump walks by and sticks his knob, and off we go. Yes, he's still selling cheap cigars. Yeah, he has about, look how long he's dragged this bullshit on. Watch
Did he say this? Well, Baker is 100% sure. In the cross-examination of Baker,
yeah, and well, okay, hold on.
It was revealed that at other times he wasn't as sure.
Right.
We'll go over that in a moment. Think your homeowner?
Oh, for fuck's sake, we'll go over that in a moment. After this break from our own weird home title lock ad. Oh God, that is, yes, the Hunter hard drive is right behind him. It's over there on the, yes, it's there's stacks of them. He's got them hidden in books behind him. Jesus Christ, there's no reason to do this. This is 40 minutes of bullshit because there's no way that I don't know. Here's the thing: did he put this out because he thought it was going to lose and he wanted to push back against it? Or did he put it out because he thought he was going to win and he's like, haha, I'll show you how it goes. Oh my God, this is so stupid. By the way, you're watching HAL Sparks Mega Worldwide. The Sussmann verdict is absolutely fucking with Trump Town today. In case you came in late, the lawyer who worked at the company employed by Hillary Clinton during her campaign was acquitted today by a jury of his peers in D.C. Like 100%. Didn't even take him long. It was like a day and a half. They just went over the stuff. That was it. And this is the guy who lost. This is Sussmann. This is Durham. And just massive, massive fail and waste of time. You can see what the plan was. Assistant Special Counsel Andrew Philippus told jurors in a D.C. federal court. It was to create an October surprise by giving information both to the media and the FBI to get the media to write that there was an FBI investigation. Despite the trial's frequent, which is, by the way, something Trump was trying to do with the laptop, projection, Trump and other political figures and prosecutors said this case is not about politics, it's about conspiracy, it's about the truth. Sussmann lied, DeFilippis said. Because if he told the FBI that he was acting on behalf of Clinton, the FBI was less likely to consider his evidence or open an investigation. Yeah, but he wasn't. Again, he went there as a witness. You can't prove otherwise. So you wasted everybody's fucking time. Prosecutors showed the jury emails, law firm, billing records, and even a Staples receipt for thumb drives to tie Sussmann to the Clinton campaign. But Berkowitz said much of the witness testimony showed that the Clinton campaign did not want the Alpha Bank allegations taken to the FBI because they preferred to see a news story about the issue and feared an investigation might complicate or delay such stories. There is a difference between having a client and doing something on their behalf, which is how it came down. Opposition research is not illegal. The jails of Washington, D.C. would be teeming over if it was. He ridiculed prosecutors for painting his nefarious efforts to dig up damaging information about Trump for a campaign. Berkowitz readily conceded that Sussmann talked to reporters as part of his job, including journalists for the Post and Reuters. He said prosecutors brought the case because they suffered from tunnel vision over news articles in Slate and New York Times that appeared on October 31st, 2016, and he argued had little impact on the campaign. That's the story? That's the leak? That's the conspiracy? Please. The key witness of the trial was James Baker, who was the FBI's top lawyer. He met with Sussmann on September 19th. Baker told the jury he was 100% confident The Sussmann insisted to him he was not acting on behalf of a client, and that if he had known that he would have handled the conversation differently and perhaps not even agreed to the meeting at all. Since Sussmann did not testify, Baker gave the only direct witness account of the conversation. Sussmann's attorneys repeatedly challenged Baker's credibility, noting that one earlier interview, Baker said Sussmann was representing cybersecurity clients. Those are the people who listened in or got the Russian phones pinging on White House grounds. He also represented them. That was more of what brought this around. And the two of those things together actually remove him from the Clinton side of things and make it so that he's aware of some evidence from another client, and he's aware of some evidence from the cybersecurity client, and he's putting it together in his own head and goes to the FBI going, holy shit. These two separate cases we're running at my law firm, if you overlap them, it points to the fact that Russia and Trump are, thick as thieves. In response to questions on the witness stand, let's see, Baker's credit. No, in one earlier interview, he said Sussmann was representing cybersecurity. In another, he seemed to say he didn't remember that part of the talk. In response to questions on the witness stand, he said he couldn't remember 116 times. Baker, who now works for Twitter, testified that Sussmann told him that a major newspaper, he later learned with the New York Times, was preparing to write about the allegations that apparently worried Baker, who said he knew a news story would probably cause any suspicious communications to stop. So he wanted the FBI to be able to investigate before an article appeared. Prosecutors say it was Sussmann himself who had provided the allegations about Trump to the Times, which didn't turn out to be the case either. He was asked about it after the fact. But ultimately, fwap. Sometimes it just feels good. Sometimes just watching the frustration, the disappointed Devin Nunes, the disappointed Don Jr. in matching shirts, which still blows my fucking mind, is hilarious. In case you missed that, I don't understand. Apparently there's some sort of cult reference that I'm not. Are there any QAnons in the crowd who can explain this pattern? Is this the underground of DC? Is this shirt based on the tunnels below DC where the children were, it's their disappointment shirt? That's what it is. It's from the disappointment section of Ross. Yeah. Now, it's not all Sussmann. Jimmy Dore desperately wants you to know that that Ukraine is losing and Russia is winning. Russia is kicking some Ukrainian Nazi ass, and the Western media will lie. Western media admits Ukraine is losing the war because of Severodonetsk specifically is what I guess he's referring to. Severodonetsk. Let's see. That's in here, maybe. Doop-a-doo. Yeah. So what he's referring to is this part. Severodonetsk attack map. Russian troops are rapidly expanding control of the urban area. Given the proximity to the Donets River, it's likely the Ukrainian forces will conduct a tactical withdrawal. The Donets will be established as a new line of defense. That's around this particular city. And that this river is on the other side. The other thing is that they are drawing them out into a lowland area for when they get long-range artillery in the area. And then, yeah. So that's probably what he's talking about is the Severodonetsk area. Never mind the fact that you've got hundreds of Russian troops who are fleeing the country. There was a recording of a military leader calling Putin a motherfucker. But yeah. Yes, the Jimmy Dore show with...
So Ukraine is losing the war very badly.
Very badly. I mean, I don't know if Kiev fell already. They don't have Lviv. No one's making pickles.
Even though you've been told the opposite in the corporate press.
Yes, the corporate press is telling us the opposite, that they're winning somehow. The corporate press.
But now some of the corporate press are starting to admit it.
Okay, so, and by the way, I don't think when he talks about corporate press, he's talking about Chuck. This is Chuck Farrer. He does a lot of NatSec stuff on this. Here you go. this is, by the way, just in case you're wondering what side Jimmy is on. Jimmy is on the side of the people who killed these folks. Russian forces have murdered, raped, and plundered civilians in the Kiev suburb of Bucha and repeatedly attacked civilian infrastructure, including hospitals. Now the International Criminal Court is opening an investigative office in Kiev, which they, of course, would do if the Ukrainians were losing. They wouldn't be, they'd be, morale is a factor. Russia has confirmed the loss of 101 BMP-3 infantry fighting vehicles. Of these, 40 were captured by Ukrainian forces. All of these vehicles, only 4 were damaged. The rest were abandoned intact by Russian crews who bailed out and ran. The Russian army is now visually confirmed to have lost more than 100 BMP-3 infantry fighting vehicles. Putin's earlier invasion of the Republic of Georgia created the puppet state of South Ossetia. Anatoly Bibilov, Moscow's designated leader, announced today that he's canceling a referendum on formally joining South Ossetia with Russia because it's failing. They were gonna have one of these fake referendums like they have in Crimea and in Donetsk and Luhansk, and they decided against it because they realized they were gonna lose. To the surprise of none of my colleagues in non-proliferation, Tehran has revealed more than 18 times the limit of Iran. Oh, that's the Iranian stuff. We'll talk about that at some point, too. VIP Bird Down reported that Ukrainian forces have shot down a specially modified Russian Mi-35 MS helicopter. This unique variant is used as a VIP transport, command and control communication C3 platform. No word on RU casualties. Let's see. There's the Donbass. Blunting Russia's offensive has been important, if costly, tactical imperative for Ukraine. In the coming weeks, Russia will have to dig in and defend what it has taken. These static positions, troop concentration, and logistics will be fair game for the Ukrainians' new precision weapons. So basically, the Ukrainians are getting a bunch of shit from the United States, including some long-range weapons, but specifically the howitzers that are moving into the range of where the Russians are. And they are doing these tactical withdrawals to draw them out onto the fields. There's a dude, I'm going to show you let's see. Let's see. There's a few different people doing stuff. Let me see if I can find this dude's channel. Doopity-doo. Videos. Here we go. Let's see. Yeah, here you go. So,
how are you guys doing? Welcome over here to the channel. Yesterday, I actually decided
this guy makes a map every day. Let me see if I can find this for you. He talks about some of the Russian folks, whatever, and some of the... Okay, so here's his map. He talks, like, I'll show you. He breaks down and writes, like, what roads the Ukrainians would need to take, and, like, he's basically, like, military strategy porn on YouTube.
Lines are going to be logistical routes like I was talking about. Blue is going to be Ukraine, and these red areas going to be the Russian-held areas. Now, there was a third Russian reinforced BTGs that apparently attempted to cross the Seversky Donetsk River. Once again, I don't know why they keep doing this, which we're going to slide down over here. Okay, we were just up there in Kharkiv. We're going to move down over here into this area. Here's Bielorvika. So we know they...
By the way, if you'll notice these pink areas, what you may look at them and go, hey, those pink areas where the Russians are look a shit ton like the areas that Russia had been holding since 2014. And you would be right.
They attempted one here that didn't pan out. There's another one over here they didn't pan out as well. And I believe there's another one that is going to be attempted about roughly right here. Okay, so I'm going to move back.
So they built these bridges, these across the river, these pontoon bridges, and then they keep getting hit.
Over in this area. So I spoke about this in my last episode, and I'm going to tell you guys right now, I wouldn't be shocked. I said this. I wouldn't be shocked if they attempted this river crossing in or around the same area just to prove they could. Well, it seems that they couldn't, and the Ukrainian military has actually completely destroyed another Russian BTG while attempting to cross the river in the village of Severnobrinka. So it's right here, right to the west of...
See, this area right here is where you're talking about. Like, this is the area. They tried to cross the river here, and they got wiped out. This is what's... And by the way, this isn't the corporate media. I'm not showing you... Like, this dude, arguably, I'm going to go with probably a Trump voter. young dude, military. When it's played loud, I'm going to stop. Your audio is low. Okay, beg your pardon. He's pretty loud. All right, I'll bring this down. Sorry. So none of these guys are like corporate media.
So just so
ERP or DERP. Hold on.
So this is the eastern region of Ukraine.
I
It's
know.
called the Donbass. And there's the Luhansk region and there's the Donetsk region.
Hold on one second.
And Russia controls all of this. This is the part that Ukraine controls, this purple part. The rest of this is Russian controlled.
Yeah, it's the part that borders Russia. It's the part they rolled in all of their shit to take that area. They moved fucking people into these two areas, declared them autonomous, and filled them with Russian troops and citizens over the years. And in all this, in fucking 3 months, what have they taken? This area north of it, which is a bunch of fucking empty land that also borders with Russia that they can just basically train car shit in from. And they already controlled this area, the land bridge area down to here. And it took them forever to bomb the fuck out of Mariupol. Look at this. Russian-backed separatist regions, which, by the way, this Donetsk and Luhansk, these are the regions that they declared autonomous. Russian advances here and here from when, by the way, this is the BBC. Russia's invasion of Donbass, pre-invasion now. Yes, this is the part where they rolled in. The entire Russian military has taken a bunch of empty, like, towns they already controlled because they had people in there, and farmland that's empty.
And that's where Ukraine had been shelling for 8 years straight, killing these people.
Yes, because the Russians there didn't murder any of the Ukrainians in the area.
Because these are the Russian separatists who didn't want to go along with the coup that the United States...
This is bullshit about the 2014... Because Jimmy Dore is a pro-Yanukovych genocide. At this point, he's just... Let me explain something to you. Jimmy doesn't think there's a Uyghur genocide in China. You think he's going to give a rat fuck about Ukrainians?
Did in 2014 that overthrew Ukraine's government.
No, they didn't.
So these...
Ukraine has a government because they had a coup. The previous government under Yanukovych was a Russian sock puppet group.
People didn't want to go along with it because that government was...
Because the Ukrainians in that area had been murdered and Russian citizens had been moved in over the years to take that territory.
Aligned with Nazis.
Yes, that's what it is. The whole United States, the Canada, all of Europe, especially France and Germany, the Swedes, Finland, the UK, Scotland, Ireland, they've all just decided, you know what? World War II was a fucking mistake. We're going to throw our hat in on the Nazi side of this argument. I mean, and again, the dipshittery around the Azov Battalion stuff, which again, if you are to agree with Jimmy, then you must allow that. Hold on, there we go. If you're going to agree, argue that because there were 9 Nazis in the Azov Battalion before it was brought into the overall military, and they started purging people out of that, before they got a Jewish president. And that time doesn't move forward, but that you're going to say that at any point pre-2014 or even in 2015 during the post-Yanukovych and Poroshenko regimes in Ukraine, that if that is a reason why the Russians should be able to attack and strafe bomb Ukraine, wipe out their existence, then what the fuck is he bitching about Yemen for? Why can't Saudi Arabia and the United States just nuke Yemen at this point? Because this is from a fucking couple of months ago. This isn't like 15 guys, and if you look at it crossways, like old Viking symbols that people incorporate in the Slavic areas of Europe sure do look Nazi-esque, even though the swastika was stolen from the fucking Tibetan Buddhists and inverted. Anybody who uses Viking runes or their Slavic background or whatever, clearly Nazi sympathizers. But America is doing horrible things in Yemen that we shouldn't be allowed to do. Meanwhile, this is just a couple of months ago. And they're not even, and this is like large groups in the streets. This isn't people like, wink, wink, we're using a symbol, wink, wink. That's the Houthis in Yemen who are fighting the Saudis. Just for the record. Does Jimmy know that? Of course he knows that. He's a liar.
And they don't want to go along with Nazis. Russians hate Nazis.
Yes, that's the Russians just hate Nazis. That's the thing. They hate them. That's why they're acting just like them. Russians hate it. Unlike who? The Western world that fought them? The fuck are you talking about? And again, this is just some goofy shit. This is coloring book level understanding of history.
And so
Nazis. These are all the Nazi areas. They're just trying to denazify this area.
And there was a peace agreement that Ukraine was supposed to leave these people alone.
No. There was a gun at the head of the Ukrainians put there by the Russian sock puppet that was running the fucking place. There is no Minsk. And by the way, if I may, hold on. Like, this asshole just does not follow fucking anybody in this shit. Hold on. Here, let's get this. Motion media monitor. There we go. Oop-a-doo. Hold on one second. I'm gonna find something for you. Yeah, this will be good. Hold on. Hold on. There's so much of this shit. It's hard to like sort through. There you go. Geopolitically, here you go. Hold on. Outside the boundaries of our nation. Hold on, I'll put this down. Regardless of the nationality, that person is a Russian. This collective Russian man had to be ready to defend his motherland always. There were many wars. This conglomerate of ethnicities and many other examples of human qualities has formed the foundation of Russian armies. He's been sending in the Chechens and the Georgians. There's studies on military capabilities. Hold on. There's an easier one. Hold on. This dude doesn't fucking... Yeah, hey, that was one of the... Here you go. Okay. That to destroy the entire... Here you go. This is them talking about... Here you go. I'll tell you that to destroy the entire east coast of the U.S., 2 Sarmat missiles are necessary. That's the Satan missile, by the way, just so you know. Let's see. They think the mushroom will be taller than a high-rise. That mushroom will be visible from Mexico. Guys, you're so funny. What methods are they even using? They're trying to raise the stakes. Are we supposed to object to that? We shouldn't fall for it. We're just explaining that their calculations are off. Here's what you need to calculate. Don't delude yourselves. What should be said is that there'll be nothing left. No one harbors any illusions about it. that everyone will be fine in a case of nuclear war. No one will be fine, but calculated correctly. There's a good example in your early broadcast. That despite all of the Nazification, books, etc., and cutting off Russian TV channels in Ukraine. Oh, Russian TV channels. 40% of Ukrainians are against tearing down World War II monuments. 36% are neutral. They're neutral only because they're afraid. 3/4 of Ukrainians are against tearing down monuments. By the way, recognize this Trump stuff. Only 19% are for it. 12 to 15% also believe it shouldn't be done. So the maximum of 5% are incurable. Simply put, 2 million, they're taking down Soviet military stuff inside there and replacing them with Ukrainian fighters. Azov is fascist SS. This is Ukraine's armed forces are Wehrmacht. This is all plain to see. Those 2 million people should either have left Ukraine or to be denazified, which means to be destroyed. For me, this is civil war, unfortunately. This is civil war. Well, but it's with another country. That is the problem. It hurts my heart because Russians are fighting Russians. Like it was during our Civil War. 10 million were laid down for no reason, and the West and allies wanted to partition Russia. Are things any different now? They push people against each other. And why can't you partner with them? Why do you have to invade to do it? Okay, 10, 15 countries, to make 10 to 15 countries out of Russia so it never poses a problem for them again. That's the collapse of the Soviet Union. They will not succeed. Okay, there, blah, blah. Okay. Good times. This dude, let's see, proper changes. Okay, top propagandists on Russian TV are hyping up a bill abolishing the age cap for people up to 50 years old to serve with the Russian armed forces. This is how good they're winning. In 2 weeks' time, they raised the age you could join the military from 30 to 35 to 40 to 45 and now to 50 in 2 fucking weeks. Proper changes with the age cap for the first and second contract. I think that's important. I talked to many people that those who want to go to war are guys younger than me and those of my age because they know a lot and are capable. They clearly understand things. Many felt bad they didn't have such an opportunity to go in as volunteers under contract. The support among the people is colossal. Also, we don't have many young people. We have a demographic gap. We have more people in the middle age and older. And we can still do plenty. They're running out of they're sending their like mating age men to fucking die in Ukraine. And the fact that Jimmy is pointing at this map of the enormity. Look, and you kind of have to point to that small a map. Hold on. Let's see. Russia. Let's just do this. See if I can. There you go. There you go. See, when you look at this and you go, Russia is kicking Ukraine's ass right now. Look at this pink area and look at this little like yellow area where they officially had this as before the, this is the places they declared separatist and then they moved shit in because they invaded. Now, if you'd looked at this, you'd go, oh my God, look how much like Ukraine has lost in this, size-wise. This is the size of the country they're up against. This is Ukraine down here. That's Crimea. This is the area he's talking about, this little area right here. This giant fucking country has been fighting for 3 fucking months, and they've taken the area they already had. Think about that for a second. Look at the size of this fucking country. And Belarus is helping them. Right here. They entered into, from the north, or from their south, from Belarus's south, into the north of Ukraine to try and attack Kiev, and were rebuffed. Ended up just raping and murdering a bunch of people, and then ran back out to Belarus and regrouped around here. The size of Russia as a federation, as a country, by its riches, all that shit. And this motherfucker is like, oh, look. Look how much they took. All right.
They didn't. They kept shelling them. So now you know. So that's what's. So that
now you know the Minsk agreement, which was made with Poroshenko and Yanukovych, which the Ukrainian people had no choice in, which is just like, that area of your country we took, we get to keep it.
And Russia was like, all right, we're taking over. If you won't stop killing them. So now that's what's going on. And now they.
No, I thought this was because of NATO expansion. What are you talking about? What, wasn't it denazification and NATO expansion? What, all of a sudden, it's because they were shelling in an area where there was ongoing war from both sides for 8 years?
They have taken over. Russia has taken over.
No, they have not taken over.
In the Donbass.
In the Donbass. In the area that they already were.
So purple, again, this is Ukraine territory. The rest of this is Russian.
No, the white area is all Ukraine. The Ukrainians don't just control this purple part, fucko. Also, that's old. Hold on, when is this? May 29th, source UK Mod Institute for Study of War. Okay, hold on one second. And by the way, that says held or regained by Russia. This is Russian control. The only expansion that they've had, see this purple area and these actual things, they've taken back Kharkiv and the area around it. They're pushing back towards Izium, is this idea right here. And Severodonetsk, they're trying to connect this area right here, but they fucking well can't.
Okay, there's Mariupol, Donetsk, Luhansk. Oh, here's another. So this is all Russian control now.
No, it isn't. Severodonetsk is not controlled by them right now. They are drawing them out into this region. If you have a topographical map, you would see that there are hillsides all along this area, and that by drawing into these areas, they are just pelting them with shit. Yeah, he's not pointing out. Look, held or regained by Ukraine. Whip, whip, right here. Russian military control has been around here. Russian advances. They made slight advances in farmland here and here. Look at this little hashy area. The fucking Ukrainians just took back Kharkiv and this entire area. Direction of Russian advance. From their fucking border, they're advancing into Donetsk and Luhansk, into the areas they previously controlled, fucknut.
Ukrainian volunteer fighters in the east feel abandoned.
And they do. They so do. They feel abandoned, the Ukrainian volunteer fighters. And okay, hold on. Well, I mean, that's the thing about Nazis. They're unreliable. Washington Post by Sudarshan Raghavan, updated May 26th. Stuck in their trenches, the Ukrainian volunteers lived off potato per day as Russian forces pounded them with artillery and grad rockets on a key eastern front line. Outnumbered, untrained, and clutching only light weapons, the men prayed for the barrage to end and for their own tanks to stop targeting the Russians. Russians, already know where we are, and when the Ukrainian tank shoots from our side, it gives away our position, said their company commander. These are like, and they started firing back everything, grads, mortars, and you just pray to survive. Ukrainian leaders have projected and nurtured a public image of military invulnerability, of their volunteer and professional forces triumphantly standing up to the Russian onslaught. Videos of assaults on Russian tanks and positions, blah, blah, blah. Postal Service even released stamps commemorating the sinking of the Russian warship in the Black Sea. Right. Ukrainian forces have succeeded in thwarting Russian efforts to seize Kiev and Kharkiv and have scored battlefield victories in the east, but the experience of Lapko and his group of volunteers offers a rare, more realistic portrait of the conflict. The Ukrainian struggle to hold. This is by the way, this is in the region where the bombing has been going on for years. This is that area. Halt the Russian advance in parts of Donbass, right? Like Russia has provided scant information about deaths, injuries, and losses, military equipment, but after 3 months of war, this company of 120 men is down to 54 because of deaths, injuries, and desertions. 120 down to 54 on the front line of a battle. 120 men down to 54. This is the fucking article he's citing. He's talking about 120 guys, Ukrainian volunteer fighters in the East feel abandoned. This particular group, down to 120. Okay, hold on. Let's see. This is from the Moscow Times. This is, updated 14 hours ago. Russian army death toll in Ukraine tops 3,000 investigation. More than 3,000 Russians have been killed in Ukraine after more than 3 months of conflict. I think they mean 30, by the way. Source to identify that they're off by, 3,052 dead troops. Okay, hold on one second. Now, let's see what the other, hold on. Russian death, because I think they're off by a 0. Here you go. Tending to Russia's dead as they pile up in Ukraine. Body bags holding Russian soldiers in refrigerated train car in Kharkiv, Ukraine on Sunday. They lie in white and black bags at 20 degrees below 0 Celsius, but the stench is still overpowering, filled with the bodies of 62 Russian soldiers. The bags are stacked in a refrigerated train car in a secret location on the outskirts of Ukraine's second largest city. A spry elderly train worker spun open the vault-like door to reveal the bloodied bags as the scent hung in the damp air. We are collecting these bodies for sanitary reasons because dogs have been eating them, said a Ukrainian soldier who would only give his call sign Summer. Eventually, we will return them to their loved ones. Summer said many of the bodies... That's very strange. It's my girlfriend's name. It's just very odd. Summer said many of the bodies have been lying in the open for a month or longer before his unit found them. His 2-man team works to identify the soldiers by their faces, tattoos, and belongings. They also take a DNA swab from each corpse to determine whether any potential war crime suspects are among them. In the gloom of the darkened car, a few traces of humanity of the soldiers who once brought Russia's war to Ukraine can be made out. A pair of boots, caked in mud, peek out of one bag. Off in the corner of the collar of a camouflage jacket is visible through an opening, but not a face. Summer's colleague, who refused to even use his first initial because of the sensitivity of the topic, said there were only 2 men in their unit tasked with finding and preserving the bodies of the enemy. He said identifications were possible about 50% of the time, while in other cases the corpses were too deteriorated. Most of the bodies had been found in villages around Kharkiv. This is the best work in the world, he said, of the grim satisfaction to be found in collecting the corpses of the invader. In recent weeks, Ukrainian army successfully counterattacked Russian forces, pushing them further from Kharkiv and giving the city a sense of calm, at least until shelling resumed again on Wednesday. When the Russians retreated, they left some of their fallen behind. And as Kharkiv inhabitants have been returning tentatively to villages, they have been in the line of fire. Some have found the bodies in their homes or have stumbled across them elsewhere. This story that he's using as his reference is about 120 volunteers who are down to 52 who are in this area. That's the story he chose. Meanwhile, and we'll see if he sources it. I'm curious where he goes further with this.
I'm going to get to that in a minute.
Yeah, get to it in a minute.
Because that's also from the Washington Post, telling the truth. Here's Ukraine suffers on battlefield while...
Yeah, nobody suffers on a battlefield. It's always one side partying and the other side is having a great time. By the way, you do realize the underdog in any fight is going to be suffering more than the overwhelming force of a giant fucking imperialist nation.
Pleading for U.S. arms. This is in the Washington Post.
Right. They want long-range missiles. We don't want them to fire them into Russia and escalate the war, so we're tentative about giving those. So we're giving them other stuff.
And this is from May 29th.
Right. Okay, again, shall we look at this one? You guys want to look at that headline? See if it's everything Jimmy, Ukrainian, Ukraine, oops. I can type. Suffers on a battlefield while pleading for U.S. arms. Okay, that's 2 days ago. Here you go. Well, this is the article. They're just raining down metal on us, said a soldier fresh from the front line where Russia is advancing. Donetsk Oblast. Yeah, again, this is in the area that they've already established. These guys are on the front line of pushing back against Russia in an area that Russia had already claimed. The ambulances hurtled into the parking lot one after the other, each carrying wounded troops directly from the nearby front line. One young man stared straight ahead, his face swollen, his neck and back dripping with blood. Others lay silently under foil blankets. Some stumble on the back doors and collapse into wheelchairs as staff members rush them inside. Nearby bloodied cots sat propped up against it. Yeah, it's war. About 10 wounded soldiers, 10, arrived at this hospital in eastern Ukraine in less than an hour Sunday morning. The latest military casualties as Ukrainian forces, outgunned by Russia in the country's east, continue to lose territory at a critical moment in the war. The Washington Post is withholding the name and precise location of the hospital out of concerns from staff members it could be targeted by Russian forces. You think? 70 people from my battalion were injured in the last week, said a soldier and ambulance driver just outside the hospital gates who identified himself only as Vlad, 29. I lost too many friends. It's hard for me. I don't know how many. It's getting worse every day. They're on the front lines in the east. The night before, he said shelling was so loud he hardly got any sleep. It's all artillery bombing down. All the wounded are coming from shrapnel. Most guys in the trenches haven't even seen the enemy face to face. That's because the Russians are just bombing them like crazy. Last week, one battalion of young soldiers on a road near Kramatorsk spent their days digging defensive trenches in a pocket not far from the front line. They were gearing up to provide additional support for the soldiers battling the Russians head-on, preparing for worst-case scenario in which Russian forces continue to accelerate their current advance, which they aren't doing. They're just bombing from far away. They're not sending their soldiers in. They can't afford to, and they don't have them. That would be a potential turning point on the battlefield. You'll recall the pontoon bridge getting blown up. Let's see. Moses pontoon bridge. Da-ba-da. So he's using this article where 72 killed or injured that they're talking about, and the fact that these guys are just getting shelled, which it's the front line, it's war. So pretending that they won't get it is fucking ridiculous. Meanwhile, just like a week and a half ago, Kiev, Ukraine. Russian forces suffered heavy losses in Ukrainian attack that destroyed a pontoon bridge where they were trying to cross a river in the east. That's the same area we're talking about. Ukrainian British officials said in another sign of Moscow's struggle to salvage a war gone awry. Ukrainian authorities, meanwhile, opened the first war crimes trial, blah, 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 the trial underway. Okay, Ukraine's airborne thing. Here you go. Ukraine drone footage shows bridge destroyed. And then these are all vehicles. Tick, 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 tick. This is the bridge that they built. These are, and look at that field. That's where all the fucking stuff is. This business. See these guys parked here? These are all wrecked. Yeah. That was about a week and a half ago. That, by the way, they've done that 3 times since. The Ukrainians have blown up 3 of those pontoon bridges.
In recent days, Russian troops have captured the towns of Svitodarsk. I don't know how to say. Do you know how to say that, Jackson?
Svitlodarsk.
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 And Lyman.
Yeah, I got it. And Lyman, and have closed in on Severodonetsk.
Severodonetsk.
A large regional hub where Russian forces have entered
that was a weird edit.
A hotel on the city limits.
Yes, on the outer edge, they claimed a hotel and the troops were engaged in person-to-person combat.
Russian troops managed to encircle and take the city. Moscow would occupy nearly all of Ukraine's easternmost Luhansk region.
The place that they declared as independent already.
Which makes up roughly half the Donbass. So,
right. Half of the Donbass. That's what they've had since 2014.
I'll show you where that is. That's over. So this is the Luhansk region here. But they have taken it all over. They've gotten it. And here's that, that's that town we're talking about right here. They got it.
No, they didn't get it. They had a hotel on the edge of town. They're talking about drawing back and having them take half the city so they can pummel them. That's what I showed you earlier.
The situation in the country's east marks a shift from an earlier stage of the war when staunch Ukrainian defenses forced a broad Russian retreat in Kiev.
This seems like it's news to Jimmy.
And other areas.
Huh. Along with Kharkiv.
Increasing confidence among Ukrainians and their Western backers about the prospects of all-out victory over a poorly organized and equipped Russian force. The exact opposite is what? It's a poorly organized and poorly equipped Ukrainian force.
No, it isn't. Where the fuck does he even get that?
It's not the other way around.
Yes, it is. I want him to have some evidence to how well Russia, a ginormous fucking country, is doing against Ukraine, claiming territories that they already filled with Russians over the last 8 to 12 years. Jesus.
Okay. Where's that 40 billion going to, by the way?
It just arrived. It's going to this.
Right?
Did they get
their
bullets yet?
Right.
No.
They have not gotten
It's on its way.
them yet, Kurt.
Right. And they just took back Kharkiv without it, with the stuff we already gave them. Fucking hell.
Though Ukrainian resistance has made the fight a slog for Russian forces,
which is a tiny little country against a ginormous fucking country. But I don't think Russia. It looks like he's about to say, call that into question. He doesn't believe that.
Moscow is inching closer to encircling Ukraine's biggest strongholds in the Donbass region while fighting on territory contiguous to Russia with easier supply lines.
Uh-huh. Yes, their border.
They've already done this.
No, they have not.
We are defending. Oh, so here is Zelensky. So this is a report from May 29th. We are defending our land insofar as the defense resources we have today will allow. We're doing everything we can to strengthen them, and we will strengthen them, Zelensky said. If the occupiers think Severodonetsk or Lyman will be theirs, they are mistaken. Donbass will be Ukrainian. He said that.
Right, because it's their fucking country.
On the same day that Russians took it over.
Right, they're not going to hold on to it. Yeah, and by the way, Russia says Eastern Ukraine. That's Reuters, who still runs TASS stories.
He said that on the exact same day. So,
right. They're not going to hold it.
So this is May 28th. This newspaper article is from the 29th. He said it on that same day that this happened.
That Russia said that.
Russia says
Russia says.
Ukraine town of Lyman is under its full control.
Mm-hmm. Well, Russia's lying, then, obviously.
And again, I don't quite know why this is funny. I'm dead serious. Like, the war of this is horrifying. This is terrible that this is going on. But this idea that it's just kind of like an odd gotcha is fucked up.
So what's remarkable about this
is that you're a lunatic who is praying for the death of Ukrainians?
That the Washington Post is saying it. They're still filling it with propaganda, but that's the truth.
No, that's what Russia says.
Anything you'd like to say about this, Jackson, before we move on? Because I'm going to do a story about them being abandoned. And I'm doing a story about everybody who's calling for a peace process as being called an appeaser.
Yeah, he has that in another clip. We don't, he had a whole show of it. I had it queued up yesterday. Remember, that was when that noise came in. It was background music. This is from his show yesterday.
As far as those two cities, Liman and Severodonetsk, they took several hundred Ukrainian troops. They surrendered in Liman, which is a big surrender. And then in Severodonetsk, they moved to a neighboring city of Lysychansk, and there's 16,000 Ukrainian troops that are pretty much encircled there. That
pretty much.
I mean, altogether so far, they've only been able to gather about 8,000 Ukrainian troops. So in one city, they're about to encircle 2 times as many.
They're about to, but you know who you're rooting for at this point.
Ukrainian troops as they've taken all together. And that's why you're seeing the breakdown of these troops, and some of the brigades are beginning to refuse to fight. And what I'd be worried about if I was Zelensky is a pending coup, because
holy shit. No, not even fucking close. A pending coup. I mean, the Russians want him murdered, and this is actually the kind of stuff you're hearing from the Russian military. You know, the where we go, like this asshole and what's her name, the crazy woman. Here we go. I've come up with a fairy tale scenario, says this dude, that at some point in the near future, some military official of a NATO country will travel to meet with Zelensky, pick his nose, on a train to Kiev and never get there. But instead will wake up somewhere in Moscow. We will do the kidnapping? Yes. And we'll figure out which orders he has given and what he's responsible for. By the way, I don't think that it's so far-fetched. We used to use the world functioning. We got used to the world functioning a certain way, but after the 24th of February, it works differently. There are new rules in this world. Any military official that wants to go to Kiev tomorrow should think whether they want to wake up in Moscow. Maybe some of them dream of waking up in Moscow. Not to wake up in Moscow and face a trial. The last one to come were Ben Wallace, Defense Secretary of the UK, who said Russia is a rightful target for Zelensky. And Lloyd Austin, also a great comrade of ours. I wasn't going to name them, but you did. So the idea is that they travel there to help Zelensky. They're going to be kidnapped. By the way, there's been this weird full court press about, oh, here you go. The Russian army proudly shows how to obliterate the center of Ukrainian town in just 8 seconds, and Olaf Scholz meanwhile speaks to Putin by telephone for 80 minutes. This is them blowing up a Russian town, or I mean a Ukrainian town. Just from far away, just residential houses, just pelting them with shit, dumb bombs. This is what Jimmy's for. This is Jimmy. As to what happens with Russia when they have appeasers who call on Ukraine to cede territory to Russia for the sake of imaginary peace, feel like they grow emboldened and want even more from both Ukraine and the West. Okay, that's the that's excellent. Divide and conquer. And this is the Washington Post, the same article, like Jimmy Dore saying, this is the Washington Post that's saying this. The Washington Post is also saying, now is not the time to seek a deal with Putin. It would be a disaster, both moral and strategic. There's a cat. The cats are fucking over all this shit. There you go. Russia's inciting genocide in Ukraine. A new report by legal scholars and human rights experts said mass killings, attacks on shelters or evacuation routes, and the shelling of residential areas established a genocidal pattern, the report found. But, you know, they have it coming, guys, because they're Nazis, and that's what Jimmy says. So, you know, they deserve, I mean, they should have known, like, that Jimmy one day hopes to have a show on this network, on Pravda. Here you go, hold on. All this is part of the Russian Mir, Rusk Mir. Are you saying he'll be arrested now? No, because aside from us, nobody knows about it. Can you imagine how many people over there are studying every word, translating, looking closely, watching their show? I don't doubt it at all. Isn't that nice? All this part of the Russian world. Okay, by the Rusk Mir is the idea that Russia is the world rotates around Russia, and that all these satellite countries are going to fall back under the Russian world. Let's see. Behind all these nuclear threats, it claims that America wouldn't help Europe if Russia decides to nuke it. There's an underlying panic about Russia being economically unprepared to wage this war. We've seen that part before. Let's see. Very serious market competition behind all this. Multiple programs, it must be one of their mandatory assignments. The gist of it is, yes, there will be global hunger, but those who have good relations with Russia won't starve, primitive, cruel, and callous. Yeah, this is agitprop. U.S. preparing to approve advanced long-range rocket system for Ukraine. That's, by the way, this is the big step forward that everybody's freaking out about. This bit right here. U.S. preparing... Oh, hold on, let me shrink this down so Jimmy can see it. U.S. preparing to approve advanced long-range rocket system for Ukraine as Russian TV host warns of crossing a red line. All we're doing is saying, we're going to give you these things, but we're going to set the range of where you can put them as deeper in the country so that they can't fly over the Russian border. They got to be like a mile shy in their total range of the Russian border as far as, you know, a dead hit. The Biden administration is preparing to step up the kind of weaponry it is offering Ukraine by sending advanced long-range rocket systems that are now the top request from Ukrainian officials. The administration is leaning towards sending the systems as part of a larger package of military and security assistance to Ukraine, which could be announced as soon as next week. Senior Ukrainian officials, including President Volodymyr Zelensky, have pleaded in recent weeks for the U.S. and its allies to provide the multiple launch rocket systems, MLRS. The U.S.-made weapon systems can fire a barrage of rockets hundreds of kilometers, much farther than any of the systems Ukraine already has, which the Ukrainians argue would be a game changer in their war against Russia. Another system Ukraine has asked for its high mobility artillery rocket systems. HIMARS, a lighter wheeled system capable of firing many of the same types of ammunition as MLRSs, so they can't get hit back. Russia has in recent weeks pummeled Ukraine in the east, where Ukraine is outmanned and outgunned. The Biden administration wavered for weeks, however, on whether to send the systems, and concerns raised in the National Security Council that Ukraine could use the new weapons to carry out offensive attacks inside Russia. On Friday, the CNN first reported the news. Russians warned the United States will cross a red line if it supplies these systems to Ukraine. That's why. These business. Jimmy apparently just wants the frontline soldiers to just die. Just show that they're Nazis and die.
If you have the breakdown of troops in the east and military commanders don't want their troops to continue fighting, it's very possible that there could be a military coup against Zelensky.
No, it isn't. That's just fucking dumb. I mean, it's a cartoon. Like, you could argue that there might be troops refuse to fight and they might have supply lines that are cut off and yada yada. But the idea that there's going to be a coup against Zelensky is fucking, it's ridiculous. It's cartoonishly dumb. It's wishful thinking from from a Russian, talking point. And believe me, all of these assholes are rooting for Ukraine to lose.
Who's taking Washington's orders to continue telling these soldiers to fight despite the fact that they will, without a doubt, be captured or worse.
So that's, by the way, that's Jimmy just siding with the Russian attack. That and again, this is how we know that Jimmy is an anti-Semite. Oh, explain? You want me to explain? I'll tell you why. Because when Israel does this kind of stuff in Palestine, Jimmy attacks them. When Russia does this stuff in Ukraine, he doesn't. What's the difference between the actions? Nothing. Occupiers, making agreements not to take more land and then taking more land, killing people, removing them from their homes, murdering and disappearing people in the process, killing reporters and the like. That's what Russia's doing right now. That's what Jimmy rails on Israel for doing. The only difference is that the Russians are white, I guess Greek Orthodox or some shit like that, Russian Orthodox Christians, I suppose. And the Israelis are Jews, by and large. And so when Jimmy hates on Israel for doing what Russia does, but gives Russia a pass, that's how you know it's anti-Semitism and not just geopolitical ethics. Because if it wasn't about the fact that Jews were doing it, you'd hate it when both groups do it. You'd argue that both actions are wrong. But apparently it's only wrong when Jews do it. And when the Russians do it, it's, they gotta. You know what I mean? The Palestinians are basically Nazis too, I guess, in this equation. You're either... And the irony that he refers to these assholes that are on his show as guests as anti-war is fucking cartoonish. Because they're not. Jimmy and everybody on his show is pro-war. They're just rooting for Russia. Where are these assholes? Hold on. Yeah. Yeah. Jimmy and Kurt and whoever this dickhead are. They're all rooting for Russia to murder as many Ukrainians as possible. And apparently, again, furthering the anti-Semitic argument that Zelensky is deserving of a coup, the Jewish president of Ukraine, duly elected, by the way, 6 years after the alleged coup, they had another election. He was elected. He won an actual election in Ukraine. A Jew who Jimmy thinks should be killed as a Nazi because basically they're the Jews are the new Nazis now. That's the argument. Because again, when Russia does it, it's fine. But when Israel does it, it's bad. When Russia does it against Zelensky, it's okay. But when the Jews do it against the Palestinians, it's wrong. What's the one corresponding trait in the people who Jimmy and his asshole friends all see as being in the wrong and deserving of dying? Thank you, Leslie. What do they share? They're all Jews. Curious, isn't it? You're watching HAL SPARKS Mega Worldwide, and I greatly appreciate it. Tomorrow morning, I have an 9 a.m. Pacific time show, and then an afternoon show as well at 3 o'clock. If you like what I do here and you like seeing somebody take on these videos long form and debunk them in real time, then come on back. Watch the show, join in the chat, say hi. Especially if you're a troll, you're like a pro-Russian bot or what have you, or you're running several accounts for, the right wing or the NRA or the QAnon or any of those groups. I mean, this is the best chat room for you to come and take a break in. It's rough out there for a troll these days. And I know that my chat room doesn't get upset the way you want them to, but, just view it as a day off. Your boss doesn't need to know we're not upset, right? Tell him you got us on the ropes, right? Just tell him you've got us freaking out and we're all pearl clutching like crazy. And to that end, you can, you'll boost us in the algorithm as you always do. Thank you, trolls, for doing that. Right, guys and gals? It's true. It is rough out there for a troll these days. How's Jimmy going to spin his show once Ukraine wins? Yeah, that's going to be takes this area back. Believe me, Lisa, we will be following that part of it, and he's not going to like it, especially when these long-range missiles show up. Yeah, it's my fishing derby. I'm trolling, right? Trolling for trolls. By the way, this is my eye line when I'm looking at the chat, so you know I'm talking to you guys. This is my Don Jr. looking at Post-it notes eye line. And then this is when I'm looking at you guys. Upgrade your trolls, Hal. Yeah, I know. We need better ones. More ficus. It might be necessary. By the way, I will be clean shaven tomorrow, so say goodbye to the scruff. This is my last day with scruff. So, sorry, that's just the reality. It's just got to go. I have a show tomorrow, and I need to be clean shaven for it. So, it's a lot. It's a lot. And quite frankly, it's getting, I have very stiff beard hair. So I can feel like the weight of my, of it on my face. It's very strange. There's that old, Zach Galifianakis. He's like, this is my impersonation of me as a 4-year-old. My beard hurts. Which I always loved, that guy. But in the intro, so today's the last day. Enjoy. So I'm going to do a Brazilian wax as well, basically everywhere. I'm just getting it all off. Still keep my hair long, but everything else around me is going to be completely, I'm going to be a big Chauvin hamster. 9 a.m. tomorrow for the morning show where we get a little more philosophical. Afternoon show where we go after these assholes, in long form. I don't pre-watch any of these videos. It's just my sharp wit, my ability to comprehend things, and my knowledge about what's going on in the world. And I look forward to Jimmy Dore being completely miserable as Ukraine continues to kick Russia's ass with our help. And I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Take care of yourself and take care of somebody else. Much love. I'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.